Welcome back. This is part 2 of my Mage with no spells. The big thing is, I wanted to clarify what the run was. We're a mage who doesn't use magic spells. I did find a little bit of a cheese later on with using the Mimic, and I did equip some magic spells, but I never used them. So let's put that out there now. Secondly, I wanted my intelligence to do the magic damage. We didn't want to be having, 39 intelligence with 38 strength to kind of say, oh yeah, my intelligence is doing all the damage. No. This Moonveil weapon already cheeses most of the bosses for me. And also, there's really no real reason why I went armorless for 3/4, half the game. I don't think I put the armor back on until, I think, Millennia, and then the Farumazula boss fight. But even then, I can't even remember. I recorded this like 2 weeks ago. Overall, it's a very fun run. I'd highly recommend it. You don't have to use just the Moonveil. There's plenty of magic weapons. The Ash of Wars I also allowed because that's not me casting a spell. For me, personally, I believe it's the sword or the weapon casting it, and we're just activating it. So that being said, Margit was my first true roadblock of the game. He has his extremely fast offhand magic attacks, constantly chipping through your shield. I actually had to adopt the shield to survive this fight, and as you can see, I summoned Millennia. Normally I would just summon a Spirit Ash, but they were such garbage because I didn't upgrade any of them, or did I have the upgrade materials to upgrade them. I just forego them until later on in the game, and I ended up doing a shitload of grinding, got all the bell bearings that I could, and we go from there. And they actually turned out to be quite the help. We're letting Millennia pretty much just solo him because we're being a pussy, and I don't know why. Like, my aggression in this fight just seems off. We're running in when we should be blocking and dodging, and then we're attacking when we should be being on the defensive. I like the Moonveil Katana as well. I'll never use a katana again, not because I don't like them, because we used so many damn katanas. You get blood buildup, you got a decent fast attack, you have a piercing strike. You get a little bit of everything with the katana, and look at there, a sliver and a hope, and we back off. Break contact, heal our wounds, and dodge that pesky spear attack. Through the course of this fight, I got very good at dodging, but I could never bring it together to do offense and defense. So I just need Millennia to take the heat off. The big thing is just patience and learning the boss fights. I've learned so much in this run just from constantly struggling. I feel like I progressed as a player, but at the same time, I still suck ass at it. The second roadblock of the run I had, not the last, was the Fire Giant. He just has so much goddamn health, and so many times I got one hit by him. By the time I got down to 1/4 health, I ended up saying, Torrent, let's go double team this motherfucker. We stay on the horse for the most part. I attack his legs and nubs just due to the fact that that roll attack he keeps seeing that he loves spamming would be so close to hitting me. And if I would attack his legs, I would just randomly get crushed for no reason and then one shot. And then I had to do a 10-minute fight over again because he has so much health. Another issue I had with him was if I would bait his finger attacks and become a master finger baiter, he would use his stomach flamethrower attack, which has a really wonky attack. It feels like it should just be a fire flame out fan, but it also feels like it's got a mind of its own, and it literally sniped me out of the air like 3 different times. So I ended up just avoiding all those attacks. I stayed behind him. We keep him on his knees, keep the pressure up. I never get a stance break. This weapon really isn't designed for stance breaking, I believe. It's a fucking katana. But we keep up the pressure. Tor and I double team him while he's on his knees, and we bring his ass to the victory pose. Come on, get him. And right there, right in his crotch. Double team, blew up, but we still felled the legend. The Foreskin duo, they made me very upset. I, in fact, said some things that I probably shouldn't have said, and I didn't know if it could get me in trouble or not in the future, so I deleted that live stream. So that's always a good thing right there. When you get mad, don't say something that comes to your mind because you might hurt someone, and you can never take that back. With the foreskin duel, the big thing was I tried keeping them separately. I did not want to attack them both at the same time for fear of having them both in phase 2. I felt more confident fighting the tall, skinny one because I've defeated him more times in the overworld. But I think ultimately it just wasn't working out that way. I would highly recommend... well, for me, I was just trying to fight the skinny one, but I could shoot him through the pillars. I would highly recommend bringing in a spear dash or some kind of a second player. It's a 2-on-1 gang fight. Like, it's not fair. That spin attack was actually the bane of my existence. For some reason, I used to be able to get like up in between them, but then the Godskin Noble, big fatty, he would sit there and just pick me off every time I would get into a decent groove. So many times I'd dodge the one attack and then I'd get blindsided by his rapier thrust. So at this point, I ended up learning the L2 cheese, where we use the L2 and then the R2 for the long range attack. We have just enough range to hit him, and later on we try to get them side by side or in front of each other, just so I can hit them both at the same time, get double hits off on that bar. And now that I focus on the one, I'm able to focus on the Godskin Noble after taking his ass out. I hate his rollout attack. I think that was the most frustrating because it felt like when it should have ended, it would just keep going on and on and on, and its hitbox is quite unforgiving. And then sometimes it hits me it feels like it rolls around me for 20 minutes, and it doesn't stop until it hits you. So I don't know what the actual rule is on his rollout. It feels like, honestly, it just keeps going until you either kill him, get killed by it, or get hit by it. It feels like there's really no in between. I have just enough damage and DPS to keep them down one at a time, and same thing, we're just spamming that long range attack. That long range attack, if you can hit it with the sword as well, it does pretty decent damage. I think we're doing like 400 damage a hit, 500, and it doesn't really get much better throughout the game. But if you can hit him with both the weapon and the sword art, it seems like it gets a lot better for stance damage. And I'm actually being able to, when I was fighting Melania, get her stunned a bunch of times and put her on her knees and then shove my throbbing sword through her chest, just to be annihilated by waterfall downs afterwards. But we're not there yet. We're fighting the Godskin Nobles and the duo and whatever the hell the other guy's name is. I can't remember more, and I don't care. Put him down like a fat pig he is, and essentially this was turned into a one-on-one fight just on repeat. I think I fought them 2 times each. My lack of damage, I believe at this point I'm level 75 to 80, and we're using a +9 to +10 weapon. We did a lot of Somber Stone farming, but in the end we're able to pull off the win. Get all the cool stuff, that Somber Stone Mighting Bell, fucking clutch. Here, this is where I said I finally leveled up the Mimic. Well, we got the Mimic. We were not able to do Rani's quest line because I just never did anything of it and I didn't want to. So the Mimic here is level 1, I believe, so strictly distraction. And I couldn't get him off this I couldn't get Garak, the Beast Man Clergyman, off the ledge. He's just content on slashing away at my Mimic right on this thing. But right there, we get plenty of those katana slashes. So my goal was to keep close and do L2 while in range and physically hit him with both attacks. Bleed activates and we send his ass into phase 2. Phase 2 was a little bit more difficult than I thought. It's a little bit sloppier than I thought. He has a combination of the wide, slow slashing arcs and then the really fast spins. I got lucky. He killed my Mimic and then he kept attacking the body. So as the Mimic was dying, he just keeps attacking him and does a fucking crazy 180 of them ahead. He has style moves for days. At first I hated this guy because I hated how his attack hits and then it keeps damaging you more and more and more as it turns you on fire. But honestly, I respected this boss. He doesn't have a lot of health, so you can really nuke him with a couple well-placed hits. It's so stylish looking. It's a beautiful fight. I hated it at the time, but just watching it now, it looks like an epic fight in a movie. Go in, I think we get hit, trade it one-on-one, bring him down for the fight and for the win. So as we roll through the highlight reel of the boss's defeats, let me say first and foremost, thank you so much for watching, for liking, for subscribing, and making my channel a hit. Also, if you are thinking of doing the run, I'd say go for it. You only get it better as the game goes on. I had a lot of fun completing this challenge, and honestly, I can't wait to get into Phase 3, where we take on the Halig Tree, and I didn't have quite as much fun. But overall, I'm satisfied for how everything turned out, how I essentially learned the bosses just good enough to squeak by with no armor, a good amount of health, but we gotta get that bad boy up there for the next one. So I'll see you around for the next one, and take it easy.